Detroit Den 313. We are back. Stephen Will talking that Detroit Lions football. You know what to do. Hit that subscribe button before we get going. Don't forget the bell icon so you don't miss any of our new content. Steve, we have a massive man we're going to talk about today. Talk to the people.
Local kid too, kind of Southfield, Michigan's own Darius Robinson, the pride of Missouri. We're talking about this kid for two reasons. One, I've seen a lot of people commenting his name. I don't know if we have a lot of subscribers who are huge Mizzou Tigers fans or what, or if you're familiar with him from his Southfield days. Two, I've seen more than one or two mock drafts that have this kid landing at 29 to the Detroit Lions. So those two things alone have my interest into looking into the kid. Heard the name. I remember watching the bowl game with Ohio State is when I kind of started to notice who he was when they mentioned him from Southfield. I was like, oh, okay, kind of piqued my interest a little bit, raised my ears. Yeah. But diving in a little bit more, Will, how do you feel about this kid?
Swiss Army knife. Swiss Army knife. The dude plays everywhere on the defensive line besides the zero technique. And he probably could have got away with playing there. It just wasn't a part of their scheme. But they bounce him around everywhere. This is his first year playing edge. He had a good year at edge. He's got a body that most edges don't have. He's 6'5", 300 pounds, 6'5", 291, I think was the official. So, I mean, the kid is he's a huge guy out there on the edge. He's out there playing edge like a defensive tackle. So that's something to account for too. So I think he is definitely somebody who's intriguing.
So at pick 29, is he a realistic candidate, or is he all smoke and?
I would like to know how you feel about him first.
How I feel. Listen, watching his tape, I don't see explosive, like, wow, I got to have this guy type reaction. But there's more things I like than there's more things I don't like. 6'5", ESPN has him listed at 6'5", 296. So we'll round it up to 300. But the combine's coming up, height, weight, all that'll be validated. We won't have any more questions about that. And I don't care. I see 6'5", and I just picture, man, Hutch is 6'7", 6'5" on the other side with a pass rush move. And as much as I hate the SEC, they're just a pool for the NFL. Like, if you want a defensive end, you probably go to the SEC. More than likely. Like, I know Hutchinson's a Big Ten guy, obviously, but if you want a solid defensive lineman, the SEC is probably where you want to go. Missouri Tigers had a very, very, very underrated team last year that most people didn't realize that they were even ranked in the top 10 until they played Georgia. I was watching Missouri, like, kind of like in the rearview mirror, like keeping tabs on them. Like, man, if Missouri knocks off Georgia, they could be a team that gets into the playoffs. I don't think they'd be like scary. Michigan still brings home that natty, but no big deal. But I did start paying more attention to them once the first rankings came out and how high they had them up. And I was like, man, if Missouri runs the table, they can make some noise. Darius Robinson's one of the leaders on that defense. Mm-hmm. I like him. I don't know if I like him at pick 29, kind of like him.
Yeah. I think this thing really grew legs when a lot of the mock drafts started putting him to us. I think that's when people started digging into him. I didn't hear many people mentioning that we should look into him prior to that. And now we got, casual acquaintances and people putting it in the comments and DMing us talking about him. So obviously we're going to talk about the guys that you guys are really pushing for us to talk about. But I'm kind of in that boat to where I want impact players. I want impact players right now. If I'm drafting you in the first round, whether it's pick 32 or pick 1, I want you to make an impact right now. While I think that he could make an impact on somebody's team, I don't know that it'll be ours because to me, he's similar to a Pascal and a Comiskey. He's a big guy who is a hybrid player to me. By hybrid, I mean you can go play defensive tackle or you can go play defensive end, and you're not going to rush the passer. That's my problem. He's not a pass rusher. Can he develop into a pass rusher? Maybe. But can Pascal come back and develop more into a pass rusher? Like, what are we doing? I don't want to draft a developmental guy, a pass rusher. I want somebody that's going to pin their ears back and go get the quarterback. So there's other guys that we like. We won't get into it because we want to keep the secret sauce for each episode. But there's 3 other guys off the top of my head that I like better than him. I do believe that one of them is going to be there at 29 or in the 20s to where we can move up for a non-crazy um trade to bump up the line. So that's where it boils down to me. Don't hate the guy. I think he's a solid player. He's a big guy. He's versatile. He's going to be probably have a solid career in this league, but I just don't think he fits the Detroit Lions. Steve, how do you feel about it?
I can't ignore 8.5 sacks in the SEC. I think he would produce more than Kaminsky because my dog downstairs would get more pressure on the quarterback than John Kaminsky.
I'm telling him.
Pascal, I like Pascal, Kentucky kid. Kentucky's my SEC school, but I think he would produce more than Pascal as well. I think Pascal would be better off as a defensive tackle. I just don't see an outside pass rush from him. Darius Robinson, I'll say this. Like I said, as it sits today at 29, it's a pass for me. The only situation where I would be comfortable with him being our first pick is if we trade out of the first round and get an extra second or third round pick. And he's still sitting there at pick, I'm just throwing a number out, 38 to 40. If that's our first pick, I'm okay with it because I do think he makes an impact day one. I do think he's more of a pass rusher than Pascal and Kaminsky probably combined. Here's what I don't find fair is I watch these other podcasts, NFL channels. Like I try not to watch podcasts like other guys doing what we do because I don't, my feelings on that.
Mhm.
I watch like actual NFL people talking about this kid, and someone I can't remember who it was, and I would definitely have no problem saying their name for this comment that they made. Compared him to J.J. Watt.
Yeah.
I had to shut it off immediately.
I mean, he's way better than JJ Watt.
Stop.
I'm just playing.
J.J. Watt is one of the best pass rushers in the NFL the last 10 years.
It's
To
not even the
put
best.
that kind of
JJ
what's
Watt
that?
isn't the best. He's not even the best pass rusher in his family. What are we talking
Stop
about?
it. Stop it. Stop it
TJ
right now.
TJ Watt all day.
It's a strong argument, but I got to give the edge to JJ.
Uh,
To put a label on that and say, hey, Darius Robinson, go out there and be JJ Watt is what people are going to expect. When you say a name like that, that's what Detroit Lions fans are going to expect. I don't see JJ Watt at all. JJ Watt is in a league of his own, elite in every single category you want to talk defensively. Darius Robinson, things I like, definitely not a JJ Watt.
Yeah, I like his game, man, but I agree with you 100%. They're not even in the same class. Now, when we talk about elite upside, they said he's going to be projected to run a 4.7. The dude's 300 pounds, but he's just learning how to play edge. And he doesn't know how to use his hands yet. You don't see violent hands. You see him just being bigger and stronger than the guys in front of him. Well, that's not going to be the case when he goes to the NFL. Those tackles are going to be bigger and probably stronger than him.
And
So
more athletic.
so it's like you're going to have to learn how to use your technique, and that is going to take some growing pains. Don't want to see that at pick 29. I want to see a guy that is plug, play, and forget about him. And obviously, all rookies are going to have their growing pains, but I want to see somebody that's on that field causing havoc. Um, I'm kind of on a different boat. I truly believe that a Pascal and a Kaminsky, while they maybe they're not as good as him from an upside standpoint, guys could not run the ball on us last year. I don't want another guy that's going to assist with stopping the run and not be a true pure pass rusher. I want a pass rusher. If you guys haven't noticed, I want a pass rusher. If I haven't mentioned it, I want a pass rusher. So I mean, nothing against this guy, man. I think he's going to go and be a solid player in the league. Anytime you got a guy that's a hybrid player, you're darn near 300 pounds, you can play the edge or you can play down inside. Um, you're probably gonna have a great career as long as you stay healthy. But we got bigger things to do, like draft Rook Roro.
Yeah, that second tier of pass rushers in the first round of this draft is a huge drop off, in my opinion. I don't know where I want to draw the line, but I definitely think Darius Robinson is in that second tier where at pick 29, I'm with you. Like, yeah, you could come in and produce, but I think you're a run stop specialist, and we're the number one run defense in the league last year. I want a pass rusher. If that means I go from the number one rush defense to the number 4, I'm still looking pretty damn good. And my pass defense or pass rush goes from whatever it was, god awful, to top 15. It's an
Mhm.
improvement. So I think there's just little areas we need to improve. And Darius Robinson, I love everything about him, except I just don't think he fits the Detroit Lions 100%.
Yeah. Yep. Same
So
boat.
final decision, pass or smash.
I'm gonna go ahead and pass, and then I'm gonna wish him the best. Though I hope he has a long and strong career in the NFL. I just don't think he fits what the Detroit Lions need.
I'm with you. I'm John Stockton in this bitch and just passing it all over the place. Don't need him. Yeah. There's a lot of other guys that we're going to get into. We're not going to spill the beans, but Darius Robinson, hey, we appreciate you guys leaving it in the comments. We try to talk about guys that are mentioned often. On top of being mentioned often in our comments, we see the mock drafts. Had to talk about them. It's a like, not love. When he comes onto the field, I need to feel confident that he's going to go out there and on 3rd and 11, he can get after a quarterback and win his one-on-one matchups. And I just don't see it right now.
Yeah, man. And what are we talking about? Taking him off the field and bringing in James Houston? I'm drafting a guy at 29 that's not going to be
easy talking about James Houston.
I know, like the sorry,
easy.
Chef. Sorry, Chef. But in all seriousness, though, like, is he gonna be a guy that I'm gonna play on 1st and 2nd down, and then I'm taking you off of the field? Because that's a guy that I draft in the 2nd round or the 3rd round. I don't draft that guy in the 1st round. I draft a guy that stays on the field at pick 29.
I'm with you. 100% pass for me, unless there's a situation where we trade back, we get some extra picks. He falls to us in the 40s, but I don't see that happening. Honestly, I'm going to say it right now. Hot take. It's going to be hard to change my mind. I'm wanting Brad Holmes to move up in this draft, because you talk about guys who are impact day one players. You're going to get that in the first 17. We're just in a shitty position. There's some day one starters we could get at 29, but I'm talking like impact players. I want Brad to move up somewhere before 20. Don't care who. Don't care what we got to give up as long as it's reasonable and fair. Yep. But that's where I'm leaning. 29 is just it's an ugly pick for me this year. So there it is. Hot take. I need Brad to move up into the 20s or better.
I mean, you can go get the best linebacker in the draft right now at pick 29 potentially, unless the Dallas Cowboys ruin my life.
Yeah, we've already talked about that. It's not going to happen.
So, I mean,
Edgerrin Cooper mocked to the Cowboys just yesterday, and it broke your little heart. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that's your number one. It's going to be hard to get you off of them, but
that's another reason for me to hate the Cowboys.
Yeah, him and Micah Parsons. That's not fair, is it?
Buddy, I'll be pissed.
And we got to play him next year, I believe. No, that's a pass for me. We got to get up there and get ahead of them.
Yeah, we need it.
Can't have it. But guys, leave some more names in the comments. We like reading the comments. We like diving into some of these players that maybe we don't hear on a day-to-day basis. You guys have thrown out some dark horses and some guys that I haven't really heard of, and I like diving in. Like a Cam Hart, guy I was kind of familiar with. I saw his name mentioned a bunch. Kid from Notre Dame, dove in, just did an episode on that. We'll tag that to the end of this video. But we enjoy reading the comments from our subscribers and followers, listening to hearing what you guys want to talk about, want us to talk about. You guys obviously value our opinions. We take that very serious. We like to engage. This is us engaging. There's 300 or more kids in the NFL draft. We're not going to like every single one of them. It's just the nature of the beast. I can't do an episode on 360 kids, obviously, and say, yes, I'd love to have this kid in Detroit on 360 times. Just the nature of the beast. But keep leaving those names down there. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We'll be back later with some more content.
Peace.